brother. Well, Ben, we've had plenty of requests for this, including one from, you. So, let's do it. TV Week. So Ben, last week you brought up an awesome question about Zach Braff. By the way, my favorite quote of his at the moment is, "Moo." Name that movie. Moving aside, Zach Braff and power watching. Ben, I totally power watch shows. I just finished Curb Your Enthusiasm and Veep. Guess you could say I'm kind of on a Seinfeld kick at the moment. Yeah, at the moment. More like my whole life. And as for Zach Braff, I don't really see what the issue here is at all. You don't have to donate to him if you have a problem with it. Abusing his fame. People are optionally giving him money. In fact, why is this news at all? He can't be the first rich person to use Kickstarter. Why is anything news, Ben? Why do we care about half the crap that's out there? Well, I'll tell you, Ben, because one of the first things you learn as a mass media major is what makes something newsworthy. Number one, timing. Ben, quick joke for you. What's the most important part of any joke? Timing! Ben, they don't call it the news for nothing. That's literally what it is. It's the news, not the olds. Makes me wonder if people ever said, what are the news today instead of what is the news today? So like, it's no longer news that The Dark Knight got great reviews, or it's no longer news that we landed on the moon. No way. We've landed on the moon! Name that movie. News is new, Ben. It needs to be happening now. It's like why we're not hearing as much about the Boston Marathon anymore, because new things have happened. But the reason we are hearing some stuff about it is because of number two, significance. Literally, the number of people the story impacts. Boston affected tons of people across the entire world, so there's still people who care about how it's going to get resolved, myself included. This is also why, like, if a small two-person plane crashes, it might be news, but it's certainly not as big of news as a jumbo jet crashing into the side of a mountain. Number three, proximity. The closer you are, the more it matters. So like last year, Elton John came to our venue, and it was a big deal in our city because he's so famous, but it wasn't a big deal outside of our city. Like, people in California don't care that Elton John is going to Virginia. But proximity is cool because it doesn't have to be just geographical. It can also be like emotional or cultural proximity. So like if Elton John died while he was at our venue, that would probably matter to the people in California because they'd have like an emotional connection to that music and whatnot. Australia is also a pretty good example of the cultural thing because despite being on the other side of the world, they share a lot more culture and customs with people like in the United States than they do their neighbors in China and stuff. Number four, prominence. Basically, famous people are famous. This is why we care about Zach Braff on Kickstarter. If some millionaire stockbroker wanted to do a Kickstarter for $3 million to start up a trading card game, no one would probably know about that or really care. But because Zach Braff is already famous and is asking for a large sum of money, we do care. Because he's famous. People are involved in crimes and shootings and stuff every single day, but not everything gets national attention. It's when lots of people die or someone we know dies that it becomes news. And number five, and this is where it gets messy, human interest. This is normally that final piece of fluff at the end of the news where the squirrel is water skiing in the pool, and it's very interesting and entertaining and meant to tug at our emotions, but the thing about human interest is it breaks all of the other newsworthy rules a lot of the time. Like, let's look at our water skiing squirrel. That could have happened months ago, but still interesting today, so no timing, no significance because it doesn't really affect anybody at all, no prominence because you didn't know who that squirrel was ahead of time, nor do you have to know who they are to make it interesting, nor do you have to be close to the squirrel for it to matter, no proximity. Breaks all the rules, still interesting. So anyway, Ben, most news has to meet at least two of these criteria before it's considered newsworthy, but there are plenty of loopholes. But most news organizations do use this on some level. Like if it's a slow news day in your market, check out every single local news station and see if they're running the exact same order. It's not because they all coordinated that, it's because the news directors know their market and they know what people care about, and they just happen to have picked up on all the same stories because they know what's the most newsworthy. So I hope that gives you a new perspective of why what's on TV is on TV. So I guess that covers the informational side of TV Week, but I guess you guys probably wanted us to talk more about like entertainment. So Ben, my question for you and everybody else is, what shows do you consider show-worthy or newsworthy? What do you want to hear us talk about this week? Let us know down in the towel section below, and I will see you in another life, brother. Moo.